north. We hope you enjoy the flight.
Sydney and I have made it to Pangnirtung on our way to Auyuittuq. Grand old airport behind us. Just waiting for the next flight over to Kik, do some exploration with Billy Arnacook, and then start the big hike. After 11 years with Billy and Daisy.
Too long. You're gonna be the assistant captain?
I get to be assistant captain.
Yeah, Billy's the captain.
Well, I saw your sign. I understand Billy's the captain, but you're the admiral.
Yeah, I am.
One time the south side, they coach the south side of the park.
This is your boat. Enjoy it with pride.
Thank you. There we are. Got a lot of mileage out of it. Fill back up again. We're trying to get over to his cabin over there somewhere where there's a bit more open water.
This area called Auyuittuq because of a big lake here.
Okay.
A cabin over there.
Awesome. We're up at Billy's cabin. There's an iceberg in the background and a spectacular view all around us. Reconnecting with this guy after 11 years. So great to see you again, Billy.
It's good to see you again.
Thanks for showing us your place.
It's very nice here.
Awesome.
Yes, it is. We are above the Arctic Circle now officially. Last night it went down to -2.
Sketching icebergs. At least a half a dozen we've just explored. This one has an incredible tower. It reminds me of Asgard, which is one of the places, of course, we're going to be hiking in the next couple of weeks in Auyuittuq National Park, and I'm hoping to do a big painting of. So this is like a little precursor to Asgard, but made of ice.
Spectacular.
Hey, I heard that. It was so amazing, I was tongue-tied.
So beautiful.
Making our way down Coronation Fjord, back to a place that I painted 11 years ago, which we're just starting to see off in the distance there. Heading up for a little better look at the fjord and Coronation Glacier in the background. Beautiful day for a hike.
So island ducks. Nothing, this little island here.
Oh yeah?
There might be some.
We just finished doing an impromptu photo shoot on this big boulder here right in front of the glacier with the most amazing view. And it's going to be really hard to leave.
11 years later, after I first came to Coronation Glacier with Billy, I'm back, getting the chance for the first time in my life to go back to the same place twice that I've painted up here in the Arctic. And I'm very excited to not only revisit this place for its beauty, but to see what kind of changes have taken place in the last 11 years as well. And here we are. This is a spot where, in Billy's old boat, I had the chance to set up my easel and start a painting of Coronation Glacier.
Feels like walking into an old movie because I've seen that painting on your wall for so many years. Almost feels like home. I think it stayed there for 6 years.
There's the painting, 15 feet wide by 5.5 feet, Great Glacier, that I started 11 years ago as a study and eventually finished at the end of 2017. And here's the glacier today. And as I'm starting to look at it a little more closely and comparing it to the painting, I'm seeing some of the changes that have taken place. For example, I can point out to this area up here that has quite a bit less snow on it, probably about 20% less than it was before. The leading edge of the glacier on the left, when I was here, was actually over here more, right below that round section of the mountain. It basically lined up right down below here. And you can see how it's receded back quite a ways. All right, so we're approaching the far corner now of the glacier where I did another painting. So this section of the face of the glacier is coming really close to the water. That was much higher before. Well, there's certainly been some changes.
My feet are freezing, so I put on 2 survival suits to keep them warm. Crazy. We're in the middle of the ocean, standing on a patch of ice. That's the best water I've ever had. That's really good.
Ending off the day painting on a piece of sea ice out here. And thanks to Billy, who's taken us out here to have this brand new experience. I've never set up maze on a big chunk of ice before. Look at all the colors around here. It's just been an amazing day. And there goes Billy. He's left us on the rocks. We have arrived at the beginning of our hiking journey. And the plan was to hike for about a good 4 or 5 hours to get away from the coastline here to reduce any risk of bears. And just about 200 feet into the hike, I came across this. What an incredible entrance into Auyuittuq National Park. Water's flowing pretty fast and pretty high, but we've got a route that I think will do us, and we're getting all ready. This stuff is really cold. It's flowing pretty good, especially for early afternoon crossing. First river crossing of the trip. Time to warm up our feet and get a snack.
Old historic tent rings. There's about 5 in a circle here.
Every time we come over a ridge, we think we're gonna get a big view, and there's another hill. Our first full day of hiking, and very difficult terrain. Sydney and I are trying to find some water so we can make camp. We've come across a bit of a dry spell for the last while. So the weather came in, and we found ourselves down by the Owl River over there, in a little hollow to escape some of the inclement weather. But hopefully the packs will get a little lighter as we go along, and the views more than make up for all of it.
This is the view from Camp 2. It looks really pretty until you go outside and get eaten alive by billions of mosquitoes. Vile creatures.
8:45, we're starting an evening hike. It's a beautiful evening light. Almost 2 days solid of walking through some very, very nasty bog, sinking 8 to 10 inches at times.
Disgusting.
It was brutal. We're onto some more solid ground down the Owl River Valley here.
There's less mosquitoes.
Yes, a lot less mosquitoes. Looking for a spot to camp just past the June Valley Emergency Shelter. And it's a spectacular mountain behind us. Whoa! Gotta watch those bumpy things all over the place, eh? That mountain is just incredible up there. But just as we took a few more steps to bend over and get some fresh water, around the bend, way in the distance, there it is. Caught a peak of Mount Asgard. 11 years ago when I was here, it was on my list to come see and never got there. Can't wait as we go forward in the coming days to get closer and closer to it, because it is still very much in the distance, many kilometers away. In the meantime, before I go into bed, I just have to look around at everything that's right here, because this rock face is in front of camp. There's at least one painting waiting to be done there. So I'll need to set my alarm and and have a look at the light all through the night and maybe see if I can't get it the way it looks just best for a painting.
Just woke up from Camp 4 and it's super windy outside. And it's also raining, but Dad is still outside painting.
We're inching our way closer to Glacier Lake. Somewhere up in there, hiding in the clouds, is Asgard. A little orange dot over there, Park's cabin at Glacier Lake, our destination for tonight after a very long slog today. Wouldn't you agree it was a very long slog today?
I miss home.
Cindy and I are taking a little hike up behind camp. It's a confluence of 5 different glaciers. We've left a huge moraine back here over time. And coming up over a little look for Rundle in particular to do a sketch, it looks much smaller than it does on the park's map. Well, it looks like it's decomposing quite a bit on the front edge of it. Sound of the Arctic winds coming through these valleys and the water rushing off the glacier that's melting in front of me. It's a full sensory experience. It's so much more than just looking at a picture. It's being out there in the moment and being inspired firsthand. And I'll call it Dying Glacier, because that's what it kind of makes me think of. Okay, so we're on our 6th day of hiking, 7th day because we got dropped off the first night. Another river crossing. Once we get across Owl River, we're going to be crossing up on that big moraine, and that will lead us right over to Glacier Lake and give us a great view of Mount Asgard back there. So made it across the river, not too bad. Hit my thighs at one point, and found this beautiful little cove to do a reboot. Nestled at the bottom of this big moraine. So this is our next challenge, is hiking up through this stuff. Not really seeing much of a trail. Lots of big boulders. Oh, and there's Sydney over there, finding her own way. Closest we found to something like a trail. We didn't keep the camera rolling, but when we hit the ridge back there, it must have been gusting, hitting 80 kilometers an hour, maybe more. It was getting really tough to hold our balance. Then we have to descend this rock face right there, that moraine, to find camp just over the ridge out of the wind. I was climbing up a little bit so we could have a look at the view that we've earned, and here it is. Wild spot here. Incredibly windy stuff. Looks like an awful lot. A little quieter down here. No mosquitoes. We have a wonderful dinner spot here. Enjoying a wonderful meal. It's about 9 o'clock at night. White caps are gone on Glacier Lake at last. And in the background, we've got ourselves Asgard, Turner Glacier, and a bit of Loki sticking his peak out on the right. Got all my painting gear and hoping for a bit of magic light to come out. We're just packing up this morning and ready to move on. There it is. The mood was just perfect for Asgard. It had this ominous feel to it with the clouds, and now the sun's broken out, completely changed. But for those few moments, my adrenaline started to pump and it started to speak to me. I think this could be maybe the big painting I'm seeking for Asgard. It was just so dramatic. And now, sunshine, completely changed. Still beautiful, but not the energy that it had just a few moments ago. Looking into the distance, way back there in the clouds, looks like Mount Thor. We're making our way up this ridge of earth and dirt and millions of tons of rock. That is part of the Turner Glacier.
Getting some fresh glacier water to drink. Scary.
We made it up onto the glacier and it's pretty quiet up here. Just a gentle breeze, no mosquitoes, and just an expanse that is rather mind-boggling. It's been a 3-hour hike from camp so far. We're spending the day up here, up in Wonderland. very nasty crevasse underneath it. So do not walk on the snow.
So we just did the photo shoot on the glacier and I am completely frozen. Not one of my better ideas, but it went really well and I'm super happy with it, and now it's time to go warm up. Finally got my hot chocolate. I've waited 2 weeks. 2 weeks for this hot chocolate.
We made it halfway through the Turner River crossings. Boy, it's cold water. And you can see why looking up there. It's just gushing off the glacier. Just below Loki there. Come on, focus! To the left is Asgard. I'm gonna leave you behind and catch up with you in the studio. This has been a very, very tough go. Now we got rain today too. Fog. But we're getting there. We're making our way through Summit Lake after some nasty moraine work earlier in the day, getting over here from Glacier Lake. We got some weather staying with us all day, dark. It's around 6 o'clock, but it feels much, much later. 4 or 5 days with no mosquitoes. Seems like suddenly we've hit Summit Lake and they're back. It's July 30th. We made it finally to Summit Lake area. That was a long, long day yesterday. We didn't pull in here till about 10:45. Woke up this morning and here's what we got. Completely socked in. This is our second last full day of hiking. There's tomorrow, the boat pickups the next day. Man, it's tough painting out here. It's almost 1 o'clock and the weather started to clear a little bit. And just before we get hiking here, the rain's still with us, but we got a bit of a view. It'll make hiking a little nicer, be able to see what's around us. Hopefully the rain will go away a little. But in the meantime, we can see a little bit. There's our trail back home. So yesterday, we started off white, got a little bit of a clearing, just enough time to do a little sketch, and then it closed right back up again, and the rain started to come. And it came, and it came, and it came. Finally got to this little creek on the other side of this ridge here, and it was just swollen. It was about 9:30 at night. We're gonna play it safe. We backtracked a bit by a huge rock, pitch camp in the rain. We've now left that place. Thor is still sadly up there in the clouds somewhere. We've got to cover about 20K today. So today is a day of pushing. I'm pushing hard. Because Sydney's going home and I got a ship to catch in a couple of days. Oh, finally, a little sun's breaking out up in the mountain there. Just beautiful. Not in front of us yet, but we're still facing that. It looks like we got a bit of a climb ahead of us. Sand to the top. Still trucking along on our big day. We've made it past Thor, past that waterfalls back there, and now we're sitting in front of a pretty view on the rim of Crater Lake. We pulled into our final camp of the trip at about 11 o'clock tonight. It's been a very long day. Both Sydney and I are exhausted, and Sydney's just finishing up this 10-pound book that she brought with her the whole way along.
I'm all done.
Oh, she's done now? Nothing else to read?
Last night was our final night in the tent, and I'm so happy because we only have to hike a short 3 kilometers today, and then we go home.
We've made it at last for a ride to Pang. And not only did we make a lot of memories, but I saw some fantastic views of Asgard. So I can't wait to get back to the studio to crack out a really big canvas for that magnificent mountain. What a journey.